Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. What's up, you guys, and welcome to another special video. For those of you wondering, I actually made this mask while being quarantined here at my house. And this is another fun video that I decided to make because, as many of you know, I love Spider-Man so much. He's my favorite superhero of all time. I am one of those, what they quote unquote call a Spider-Man nerd.
His light is so bright in my eyes.
So in this video, I'm gonna do my top 5 all-time favorite Spider-Man movies so far, because I know the future has so many more to come. That being said, let's get right into this list. This is gonna be top 5 style, and yeah, let's get right into it, shall we?
Number 5.
I would have to go with Sam Raimi's original Spider-Man. This movie is number 5 on my list just because this movie is such a classic, but also changed the movie industry in general. Because at the time when this movie came out, there was only like X-Men, and I think Daredevil was out at the time, which is just so crazy. And now we have the Avengers, we have Ant-Man, we have Venom, which is just insane. But this movie really means so much to me, and Sam Raimi as a director is such an amazing director because he was such a big comic book lover himself. So he really added so many comic book references from the original Spider-Man comics inside this movie, and that's what I really love about this movie the most. I remember being a little kid and my mom took me to see this movie in theaters. I was probably like, I don't even know, like 4 or 5 years old, and I remember going and seeing this movie in theaters and just walking out of it just so excited. And I loved Spider-Man from that moment. Tobey Maguire is such a great Peter Parker, in my book at least. So yeah, I love this movie. Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man, will always be very special to my heart. I'll never forget it. And yeah, so I'm gonna put that one at number 5.
Number 4.
Number 4, I'm gonna have to go with Spider-Man Far From Home. And I know a lot of people would put this movie at their number 1 on their top Spider-Man movies list, but for me, I would have to put it at number 4. This movie came out last summer, and I remember seeing it, and I love the movie so much, but when it comes to ranking to other Spider-Man movies, this one just has to go at number 4 on my list. This is a great movie. I loved Mysterio in the movie. I loved how it took place outside of New York, which is just so cool to see for once when it comes to Spider-Man. And how can I not mention the ending? Like, that ending really honestly just changed everything about the whole Spider-Man future when it comes to films. So yeah, Spider-Man Far From Home was a great movie and I loved it. I love that him and MJ finally got even more closer, which we were all expecting eventually. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put Spider-Man Far From Home at number 4. I don't really have much to say about this movie. I really enjoyed it. It's one of the best Spider-Man movies I've ever been put out, but like for me, I would have to put it at number 4 just because it just doesn't compare to all the rest of the Spider-Man movies. And yeah, I just don't have much to say about Far From Home.
Number 3.
So for number 3, I'm gonna have to put Spider-Man Homecoming right here. I put Spider-Man Homecoming right here just because I love the introduction to Tom Holland as Spider-Man. Tom Holland's Spider-Man reminds me of the comic books, The Ultimate Spider-Man, where you just feel for him, right? And he's always going through something as a younger Peter Parker would, a 15-year-old would in high school. And so that's what we saw in Spider-Man Homecoming, and I love that. And that really opened the door to Sinister Six, right? We got to see Vulture. We got the feel for Vulture as well. I also put Spider-Man Homecoming in number 3 because Vulture is supposed to be in Spider-Man 4, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 4s. So to see Vulture finally make an appearance in the films was just spectacular in my book. So yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming really changed the way we view Spider-Man in the movies now, because obviously he is probably the best Spider-Man that's ever been in film history so far. He has that whole personality that Spider-Man always needed in the films. Tom Holland plays such a great job. I just love this movie. It's so funny too, and that's how Spider-Man's supposed to be. You know, Spider-Man is supposed to have that humor to him, while at the same time, he's learning to become such a better person and learning how to become such a stronger person. So yeah, Spider-Man Homecoming is number 3 on I love that movie. And so yeah, let's get right into the next one, shall we?
Number 2.
So for number 2, I'm gonna have to go with Into the Spider-Verse. And I put this on number 2 just because this whole movie was such a fantastic movie. The animation was great. Even the music soundtrack was just phenomenal. I also loved Into the Spider-Verse because it introduced this whole new universe that's going to be used in the future films, the Spider-Verse, which is just so dope because there's so many things they could do with the Spider-Verse. And I'm hoping one day we get a live action Into the Spider-Verse. That'd be just so amazing. And I know that movie would do so well. I love Miles Morales. I loved all the characters, you know, Spider-Gwen, all the characters that are in that movie. It's just such a great movie. If you have not seen Into the Spider-Verse, you need to go watch it. It's one of the best Spider-Man movies so far. I just love that movie. I'm super excited for the sequel.
Number 1.
So for number 1, I'm going to have to go with Spider-Man 2. That's right. Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 is probably one of the best, are you ready? The best superhero movies that has ever been made so far. This movie tells such a great story. I love Dr. Octopus. You know, Spider-Man finally reveals his identity to Mary Jane, which is just an incredible moment, especially in the comics. Spider-Man 2's effects were just great. You know, everything in that movie was just amazing. Most people who rate these films always puts this one as number 1, and this one is definitely number 1 in my book. Spider-Man 2 is just amazing. I remember being a little kid and seeing that movie in the theaters as well. And yeah, I just love Spider-Man 2 so much. That movie will always be super special to me. I'm gonna have to put that one at number 1 just because that one deserves the top spot right now. That being said, I am super excited for the future of Spider-Man. I'm excited to see a Sinister Six movie. I'm excited for Venom 2 that's coming soon. I'm excited for Morbius. I'm excited for Into the Spider-Verse 2. I am just so stoked for the future of Spider-Man in the films. It's evolved so much since the early 2000s. I am just so excited. Me and my friends talk about this kind of stuff for hours, you know, and it's just, we're just so excited. I have so many different theories what I think is going to happen in the future of Spider-Man movies, like when it comes to storylines, what's, you know, characters. And so I think I'm going to save that for a different video. This is just going to be my list. Please go check out all the Spider-Man movies. They're all great. Even the ones I didn't list are also great in a way. So please go check those out if you haven't yet. I'm pretty sure you have, but please do. I love Spider-Man so much, and I hope you love him just as much as I do. So yeah, I thought that was a cool video to make. I'm gonna have more coming soon. If you have any ideas, please let me know. And yeah, please feel free to reach out to me. All my contact info is always in the bio. I think it's down below, right? So yeah, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. It really means so much to me. I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.